Hello and welcome to Las Blancas Podcast.
Welcome back to another episode of Las Blancas. We are back uh, with a win after that debacle against Barcelona. We have bounced back with a strong performance, with a professional performance against Sevilla, a game that we won 4-0. Saw a couple of firsts, Athenea as the captain, an interesting combination of players on the pitch, and a debut, and some concerning news about one of our key players. So we will get into all of that. We'll talk about what transpired on the pitch, what has been going on off the pitch that led to the exclusion of one of our key performers this season, and ever since she has joined us, basically. Uh, so yeah, let's get into that. But before that, Kanita, what's up? How you doing?
Yeah, I mean, we haven't reached, we haven't yet come to the 0 point of the week with the, goals conceded and goals scored in 1 week. Yeah, -1 for this week. So, yeah, I mean, if we had scored one more against Sevilla, then that would be, yeah, jokes aside, we kind of needed that, in this game is sandwiched between two Clásicos, and yeah, we needed this. It was an away game as well in Sevilla, and yeah, I mean, it was a fun game, and also like Toril was absent from the bench. The Jose Manuel Vera is the second coach and well, the assistant coach, and I'm not sure who put up the lineup. I don't know. But yeah, whatever it is, I mean, at this point, I don't care. Like it was Sevilla, so yeah. But yeah, it's just to say that they said like David Menayos from Marca said that Toril was absent for some personal matter. So yeah, he was. I think he traveled to Sevilla, but he had to leave. If I understood well. So yeah, just to add that thing. But yeah, in all, good vibes from the match.
Yeah, I think this win, as you mentioned, was needed after that very poor performance against Barcelona. I think as a squad we needed this, and I we could have gotten more. It was, as I said before, it was quite a professional performance from everybody on the pitch. I think, despite rotation, everyone went there to get the business done, and we saw some really good performances from these players, which is always like really encouraging. Uh, but let's talk about the squad, and let's talk about the starting lineups. Uh, when the squad list came out, like it came out what, 8 9 hours before the game, and the surprise there was no Linda Caicedo once again. And last game as well, we mentioned this, that maybe she could have been rested in the athletic club game a little bit after playing 390s for Colombia, and she could have been available for that game and then for the games beyond, but we haven't done that, and now it feels dicey, her situation. So how do you feel about the fact that, you know knowing that Linda Caicedo is such an important part of Colombia's national team setup? She was playing multiple levels at once, under 17, under 20, and senior side as well. uh, how, do you feel that we have done a good job at managing her workload, given that she always has to travel the most as well, because she has to go all the way to South America, then come back, and everything? Do you feel like we have done a good job, or does the responsibility lie on the shoulders of the player for uh, them to prioritize and choose and pick which games they should be playing, at such a young age as 20? Well, what do you think?
Yeah, so actually about the under 20 tournament, I heard that like the clubs could have decided if they can let the players go or not. So obviously, I mean Linda loves playing for Colombia. I mean she's young as well. She just turned what 20. And I mean she loves playing for Colombia. She plays in across categories and all that. So she wants to know, obviously, especially for any tournament. But the club could have said no. I mean, other clubs said no for some other players I know, and I don't know. But like throughout the season, we were rotating, except that in the maybe like last month or something, like maybe yeah, I mean January and February, I think, yeah, since this year started that we began prioritizing Linda more and starting her more often. Like it wasn't on and off, it was more like Linda starting back to back games lately. So, and yeah, obviously her playing free games with Colombia in a span like less than 2 weeks, maybe like 12 days or something. Well, what was that international break? And with the traveling that you mentioned as well, yeah, it's a lot to handle. And she did come off the bench for the athletic game. She could have got rest there. I don't know why. What was there? The reason for that. And yeah, I mean I am concerned because there's some big games coming up and we'll have Champions League. Champions League is the priority this month. So yeah, I don't know how we'll manage if we don't get her back for the Arsenal games. And yeah, I just hope this is just an overload and like these two rests, maybe one more. I mean against Barcelona, this second leg, she doesn't have to play either. Like, it's useless. So sure, like give her rest for this because yeah, and we need her for Arsenal. We need her.
Yeah, I mean, she is such a key player, and there is no denying that, given her qualities, given how talented she is, that not just her club but her national team also looks up to her, and she is sort of this talismanic figure in the side wherever she's playing. um, and that has led her to play a lot more minutes than players her age would be expected of. She has been expected to play multiple levels at once. She was in 2022 she was playing under 17. In 2022 itself she was playing under 20, and in 2023 she was playing the senior world cup, right? So it's not been an easy sort of period for her, because she has had to play so much, and she with Real Madrid as well, then she has had to travel every international break and come back. So that also takes a toll, the whole lot of traveling. So, and at such a young age, we have to be slightly cautious of not to overload this player, because you and I both know, everyone in the fan base knows that Linda Caicedo is a game-changing player. She is one of a generational talent in women's football. So, to have her, mm, to save her, and to sort of not overuse her, basically not overwork her. We'll have to pick and choose the games where we can give her a little bit of rest here and there, because uh, some of the games we can manage without her, and I think she should be given that liberty to rest for a little bit, and maybe have some sub appearances instead of starting. Maybe that will help. But yeah, it's something that definitely the club and the manager should work upon, along with Linda Caicedo, and try to manage her workload better, because we definitely need her for the upcoming period, and we cannot risk, run the risk of losing her, because she is arguably one of our two best attacking players in the side. So we definitely need her. But coming back to this game, once the lineup was out, we knew that there was going to be, rotation and everything. We have come to expect that every game. And after what happened in the previous game, I don't know, like we were going to rotate a couple of players, and that is what happened. We rotated more than a couple. So let's look at the lineups here. So it wasn't Misa in goal, it was Mylene in goal, with Sheila, Antonia, Maria Mendez, and Yasmin starting as the back four. We got to see Antonia playing as the right center back, which I feel like is her rightful position. Then we had a midfield double pivot was also quite interesting. It was Weir and Toletti, which is something we are not used to seeing a lot. And a front four of Eva Navarro, Caroline Moller, Athenea, and Redondo. Now, when I saw this lineup, the first thought was, okay, this is interesting. We have basically three players who have been deployed as number 10s this season. Weir is the usual one. Redondo, whenever she comes on the pitch, has played slightly withdrawn from the front line, and Moller, who excels in the role behind the striker or alongside another striker. So there was three basically number 10 players on the pitch at once, and I was interested to see how that pans out. Apart from that, was quite happy to see Antonia as the right center back. And Lakrar getting the rest, because Lakrar as well has been forced to play a lot, has been run the risk of getting injured a couple of times, and has been overworked that way. So it was good to see her being rested. And again, Olga getting the rest was also a welcome thing. Uh, and the big thing about this was, okay, we'll get to that. But what were your initial thoughts, Kanita, about the starting lineup?
Well, I had two. First of all, yay, Lakrar gets rest. I was like, it's a miracle. We had, well, yeah, we have like two and a half center backs available. Half because Antonia is moved center back and right back, obviously. But I mean, when we lost Rocio, I like lost hope that Lakra will get any more rest, because we've had quite a lot of time to rotate Lakra. And I know the two of us will have been screaming like basically since the beginning of this year. Like, she's been having these like injury scares as well. Like, oh yeah, just rest Lakra is not that serious. And we got that finally, so yay. And I think Antonia had a decent game in this one. Like,
Yeah.
I remember only one mishap, but the rest, I think she covered a lot of ground, so yeah. And the other thought is yeah, obviously the free number 10s, I guess. But what caught my eye was especially Weir's position. Like looking weird there. It was suddenly a choice, and with these two players, I mean, I don't know. Listen, at least one of the midfielders got rest. I mean, Angela at least got a rest. I think like for this lineup, it would have had more logic if Angela playing instead of weird there. I don't know, like just for the sake of logic. I don't know. It's a bit weird seeing her there. So yeah, guessing that. And I glad to see Shay back in the starting lineup. I don't know what to say.
Yeah, I mean, seeing Weir there is a bit of a throwback as well, because when she was at Man City along with Kira Walsh, they used to play in a double pivot, and that was like it was one of my favorite things to watch back then, uh, because these two players used to function quite well. And although Tourette is not the same profile as Kira Walsh, and Weir has been played in a more advanced role since then, it was still good to see her being deployed as that double pivot, and I think she did a decent job. There was nothing bad about her performance, and I don't think we are ever going to see her play in that role for the rest of the season. But it was a nice thing. The other thing about this lineup was Athenea. Athenea was wearing the captain's armband for the first time. Uh, After being a part of this club for so long, it was quite nice to see her wearing that captain's armband. It was such a fulfilling sort of moment that this player who has been with us for so many years now is now one of the most senior players in the team and has a lot of shitload of appearances. Has been through every single phase of the team and now is wearing that captain's armband. It was quite a fulfilling moment, and I think she had a really good game as well. What did you think of that moment when she uh, donned the armband?
I mean, everyone everyone was talking about it like since the lineup came out and there wasn't neither Olga or Misa. Obviously, Tere was injured, so and oh my god, Athenea wearing the armband for the first time, and it's and it was a special performance, and I think she honored it well as well. Like her performance in this game was very well, very good, and with goal and assist, and another like fake assist. I call it like I counted as an assist because to Redondo. The defender touched it, but it's fine. So yeah, she did a lot, like, and she attacked, and she was in the left side, and she didn't switch sides, so which is a good thing. I don't like when fingers do that. But she only does that with Linda anyway. So, and yeah, I mean, it is obvious that it's better also for her to not switch sides. So yeah, I'm
Yeah,
quite pleased with her performance. She was in the mood as well, like the way she played and the way she went for the dribbles as well. Like she was in a good mood. I mean, obviously the captain's armband. So yeah, it's very good to see that. I mean, she is even with like the dates of the transfers happening in the second summer window. I think she is the oldest transfer like from that season. Like I know from when they were announced. So yeah, it's quite fun to see her and to remember that she is one of the senior players now. So yeah, quite fun.
yeah, that was definitely one of the moments of the game. Basically, when she stepped on and she went to exchange those batons and everything, it was nice to see. Uh, but yeah, let's talk about she had a goal and an assist. Redondo got two goals, and we had Naomi Feller scoring the fourth one. So four goals always welcome, and I think it was a very dominant, professional, whatever you want to call it, but it was very straightforward game for us. The opposition also got a red card. We'll talk about that as well. There was some drama around that too. But I think apart from that as well, this was a very professional performance, as I keep saying. Let's talk about the goals then. I think Redondo brace one of the goals coming from a set piece where Toletti plays the ball. It initially seemed offside to me, but apparently it wasn't. That was, yeah, it wasn't. It clearly wasn't. She scored there. Then a brilliant run where she flicked the ball for Athenea, then made the run back into the box to receive it. It did not go down as the assist, I guess, but unfortunately, but really good run. Showed glimpses of what she can do when playing deeper, how she can link play, and how she's involved in the build up and the finishing phase. So it was really good to watch that. Then there was that Athenea goal, really great bit of exchange between players there on the from the left coming inside and then playing that quick one-touch passes and scoring, and then it was Athenea just running through on a through ball and then squaring the ball for Naomi Ferrer. So out of these 4 goals, I'll put you on the spot and I'll ask you, what was your favorite goal out of these four, and what did you notice anything else in these 4 goals? Then we can talk about the team shape and everything.
You know, I the goals were pretty neat.
Yeah.
I like the two goals that like come to my mind to pick like from the two of them is Redondo's second goal, the Atenea's goal, because they both were very good, like between the teammates. And as you said, like in that second Redondo goal, like how it was from it was from our Froen, and she received it on her head, like Alba received it on her head from Yasmin, and got it to Athenea. She went on the run, and the way Alba moved through there to then receive it and then shoot there, like from Athenea, it was pretty. And Athenea's goal, I don't know. It's because of the thing that was happening on the left side, like the understanding between Yasmin and Athenea there. First of all, so it started with that pass from Yasmin. So they were both like out wide, but then Athenea realized she should cut in when Yasmin went wider. So Athenea did that, and Yasmin made a narrow pass, and then she combined it with Toletti, and great combination there as well. So I don't know. Maybe I'll pick the second Redondo goal just because that like movement, smooth movement, just between the two players. And it is sad that Athenea didn't get that assist. The defender did touch it. But yeah, it was so smooth, so quick, and I love it when it happens from throw-ins so quickly. I always say when goal happens from a throw-in. Yeah, I just have to mention it. And also like the position with in the first goal, the set piece goal with Alba's, how she moved there. She was in front of the well, yeah, let's say like at the back of the um wall, and she just moved, like she curled
So
herself inside to receive that ball, like brilliant positioning. The marker didn't catch her, and it was very smooth. She well, it was saved initially, then she put the rebound in. So yeah, it's brilliant positioning with Redondo there, and like throughout the match she did well as well. But these two goals showed it very well, like how she moves and stuff. So yeah, I think I'll pick the second Redondo goal.
yeah, it was a really good, like both the goals from her showed that she has this really intricate understanding of her movements. That curved run on the first to be beyond the last defender and then slightly come inside and to receive the ball, just the timing of it. And on her second goal, the way she flicked it and then had the understanding to make the run back into the box and to be able to receive that ball was really good. And speaking of that, I think it's important to understand how the team was operating here, because if you talk about that second goal, Redondo wasn't the furthest forward player. She was very withdrawn. It was Athenea who was further up. And this was the case on the other flank as well. A lot of the times, Eva Navarro was the furthest forward player, and Moller was the one playing in that slightly half space or that slightly withdrawn role, then trying to feed Eva Navarro. And I think this is best shown in the team shape or the passing network that we have here. This is what I'm talking about. This is what I was mentioning. If you look at this passing network that we have here in from this game, it tells you a lot. And I'll just quickly get my marker out to. This is what I'm talking about. This is Athenea's position. This is Eva Navarro. And look at how these two, on average, have been further forward than both Redondo and Moller. So these two players were playing sort of a withdrawn role, which we have mentioned. There were three number 10s on the pitch, or three players who have played that role for us on the pitch. So it was definitely something interesting to watch, and I think the best example for that was that second Redondo goal, where she was the outlet first for that throw in. She flicked the ball for Athenea. Athenea made that run, and then it was Redondo who turned back and made the run to receive the ball in the box. This was one of the things, and I think are the other two things that I would like to highlight here is this. The first thing is this very clear box sort of midfield setup, which on the pitch as well you could see that we were forming this a box sort of shape whenever we were building up from the back, or we were doing anything in attack. There was always Muller, there was always supporting. Toletti was there supporting on the right hand side. Weir was holding that deeper position on the left, with Redondo playing slightly further forward, or sometimes Athenea coming inside and Redondo playing forwards. So we had this structure in the middle, which was quite interesting to see with these four players, and to have those two, Redondo and Muller, the number 10 sort of playing withdrawn. We were able to have this supporting structure where we had short passing options at every single point, and we could build through them. It was also helped by the fact that Sevilla were in a mid block 4-4-2 and weren't putting much pressure. So we could place players in between their lines and receive them, and turn around and do our build up. That was another thing that really I thought was quite fun. The other thing was, and that was interesting, was this: the lopsided nature of our fullback. By this time we are used to the fact that our attack is largely, lopsided. We do prefer the left hand side quite a bit, and this is basically like, not nothing surprising. Once again, we were attacking a lot through our left hand side, and this is what happened. Like, Yasmin was very much involved on the left. If you notice that Athenea goal, she was very high up. She was combining with the thing, with Athenea, with Toletti was there in on that goal. So Yasmin was quite involved higher up in attacking positions, which was quite good, honestly, like, which was really encouraging to see. And but I was surprised by how much of a back on the back foot Shayla was, because Shay, we are used to see her run up and down, bomb forwards and all, but there was a lot more emphasis on us trying to build from the left and attack from the left than it was from the right. And you know as much as it worked out for us, I would also like to see that attacking nature, or that freedom given to Shay as well, because she excels in that role. So yeah, what were your thoughts, and what do you make of what are your initial thoughts when you look at this passing network? Does it align with how you saw the game, and what do you take away from it?
So yeah, I have two things. First of all, yeah, the like seeing Jay like throughout the game was very weird. Like, whenever I was looking for her, she was further back than we're used to seeing from her. And yeah, I don't like. I think it also has a lot to do with Moller. Because so like, okay, so these our two strikers here, Redondo and Mullen, like, even like at the box, like when we were in their final third, like, you'd see Mullen like outside of the box, just there waiting, a lot. So she was further back, and like sometimes Redondo would pull by and then get into the box and wait. So even the final third, it was like this, like, more conservative with our strikers, which is weird. But what I want to say about Moller here, with having to do with the right side, is that her really like her passes to Eva weren't really understood, and that also like broke the chemistry on the right side. Like Shayla couldn't get it either. So yeah, it was a weird thing going on the right side. We didn't really do much, which happens in some games, that we have a completely disconnected right hand side. Sometimes it is more balanced, but it's like on and off, like yeah, like more, I think more than half games we have like disconnected right hand sides, which annoys me obviously. But there's another thing, and it's obviously for our left hand side. And this is the Yasmin and Athenea position. Actually, like, is explained very well in the Athenea's goal, as you mentioned. And the understanding between the two throughout the match was very smooth. Yasmin is doing well. I mean, I'm very glad to see Yasmin having this understanding with Athenea now as well. Like we've seen her learning with Linda on the left side, but now it's with Athenea, and it went well. So I'm very glad to see that. So both this was like mutual from Yasmin and Athenea, like the understanding of each other. So it wasn't like that Athenea was waiting for Yasmin to get her the ball on the edge of the box and that she could dribble in. No, no, no. She knew that she should cut back and should cut inside, and Yasmin can pass it to her, which happened in the goal as well. Like very, very good example of that. And they knew what they shouldn't do with each other, and it went well, and it's shown in this passing stroke as well. So I'm very pleased to see this working out. It's very important to me seeing Yasmin doing well with Atania here as well. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, as you mentioned, it clearly was a mutual understanding because you can see passes being exchanged from Yasmin to Athenea and then Athenea to Yasmin as well, and more than five passes being exchanged in that duo, either way. So that is really, because if you look at the other side, it's Shayla has played more than five passes to Eva, but Eva, like, there is not that synergy between those two on the flank. But here on the left hand side was very involved. Like both those players were quite heavily linking up and exchanging passes between themselves. And it also was helped by the fact that we were trying to go through the left a lot more. And so the ball was on the left hand side a lot more than it was on the right hand side. But yeah, it was really good to see. And I think one player that also stands out that we haven't spoken about much. We have spoken about Athenea, we have spoken about Redondo, but one player that also stands out here and did really well in this game, in my opinion, was Sandie Toletti. Playing alongside Caroline Weir in that double pivot role. You knew that a lot of the defensive responsibility will fall on Sandie Toletti. A lot of the build-up responsibility will also fall on Toletti's shoulders, and I think she excelled. Right? What did you make of her performance? She could have scored as well. Had a free kick that hit the post. She picked up an assist for Athenea's goal as well, and had that brilliant free kick as well, which was, basically you can count that as a fantasy assist for Redondo's opener as well. So, you know, probably like one goal, she could have had one goal and two assists in this game. So very heavily involved. What did you make of her performance?
Yeah, like you said, I do I count that as like a fake assist as well, and like the Atenea's to Redondo. I mean that free kick. I mean, she had those free, she has those like two free kicks you mentioned. and could have had a goal and one more assist there. And like in this, well, again in Athenea's goal, like how she moves, but like how the combinations, she did that all the time. And I mean, Toletti is a player that moves the game smoothly, and it was really shown in this game especially. But it's very interesting to see this pass plot, and it makes a lot of sense to see these green passes, like six key passes, and obviously one of them is that assist to Athenea. And yeah, I mean, brilliant performance. She was very much noticed, very important in this game. And yeah, I think that she also, like, there were like a couple of times like an overlap to just to combine with the left hand side, just just overlap with we're a bit to just combine with the left hand side, and for that chance, and then pull to the right side again. So typical things we see from Toletti, like the vision, where the positioning, the like even off the ball, how she follows the play. And yeah, another a brilliant example of how she works.
Yeah, I mean, six progressive passes, we see a lot of those vertical balls as well, where she's breaking the line consistently. And that is where that box structure in the midfield also comes into play, because she always had two vertical option between the lines in Redondo and Moller as well. So she was playing those line breaking passes quite often. And she was, like, you can see she has just the same amount of touches inside our own half as in the opposition half. So you can see her involvement being in both the halves. And that is what, like, it was a very complete performance. Could have capped it off with a brilliant free kick goal, but it hit the crossbar, unfortunately. But yeah, I mean, I think you know obviously Sevilla not pressing or not putting any sort of pressure on us did help, but I think it was a really good performance from Toletti, a very complete performance in that deeper role where she can move the ball, where she can show that she's her verticality in passing and possession really, really well. And I think she really showcased it. Did not have to do much defensively, as you can see, just the one interception. But apart from that, because Sevilla did not really threaten us much, they had like three shots all game. One of them was that long ball that Mylene came off and cleared. So there wasn't much threat from Sevilla's POV to, that caused us a lot of problems, and we had it covered most of the times. So yeah, but beyond that, I think really good performance from Toletti. I think one of the players that, you know not we don't get this every day, but one of the players that we have to mention, and which was a special moment when somebody like this comes on the pitch. So it was a debut for 17-year-old Elsa Santos, and it was a decent performance. Like what you can expect from a 17-year-old. She was involved in that fourth goal where the Brune, before Brune played that pass to Athenea. It was Elsa's touch that got the ball slightly free for Brune, and then Brune played that ball through for Athenea. But really, really special moment, right? Like a 17-year-old stepping on the pitch and doing bits for us. We have had really such players have been we have been blessed with such players. Comendador, be it Irune, be it Elsa now, be it Paula Partido in the past, be it Carla Camacho in the past as well. It has always been a very accomplished moment to see these players who have played for us in the academy stepping on the pitch at the age of 17, 18, 19, and trying to have an impact, and their emotions when they get that first goal, when they get that first assist, when they win that tackle, when they go in for that tackle. It's all really heartwarming to see, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm actually very pleased to see in like the past like 2 years, see more academy players getting chances, and like There's some returning academy players as well, playing
Yeah.
for the first team. So this has been more prominent in the past 2 years. Like I know, like since the beginning, we've had some very good academy players. Like why don't we use them, especially when we have injuries and stuff? But yeah, in these 2 years, we've been getting better. This time it was Elsa. And I know when the squad list went out, they initially put her as a defender. Then they deleted it and then put her as a midfielder. But she can play both. She can play as
You can play. Yeah.
center back and as a defensive midfielder. So yeah, in this game, I mean, she didn't have to really do much. I mean, Sevilla really didn't really didn't give her much work. She was helping in recovering the ball. I know, like with her teammates and all. And I know, I think someone said like only a day earlier um she played for the B team, and then she played 25 minutes for the first team on Sunday. So yeah, I mean these children do that a lot. Like a day earlier, they play for the P team, and then they play some. It's for I mean they're something else, man. And yeah, we got this debut that lasted 25 minutes, so it's always good to see these debuts that aren't what 5 minutes, like last 10 minutes, 5-10 minutes, uh to actually see them like enjoy a bit of the pitch, so yeah, it's always special to see this.
Yeah. I mean, youth is uh always they have that energy to be able to play multiple games. And so obviously, like you mentioned, she can play both defense and midfield, so it's nice. And hopefully, towards the end of the season, we can see more minutes for Irune, Carla Camacho, and Elsa herself. So that will be really nice to see how we manage these talents, because today with Sevilla as well, we had Paula Partido, one of our former players there, and Sevilla themselves have had quite some young players. Lucia Corrales was also there. She's a really good player as well. Has done good with the Spanish youth teams recently. So all of these young talent in Spain, there is not a lack of that. And to see some of our players from our academy doing well and being a part of that is also quite nice to see. Quick quick thoughts on one thing before we move on to discuss something that has been on my mind a little bit. Uh, is there Sullastres red card or not? Because personally I did not I could not catch it properly. The replays did not help much for me. It did feel like it came off her shoulder. At first I was like, the commentator made it seem like she had cleared it off like brilliantly, and then when I saw the referee taking out the red, I was like, oh, okay, maybe she handled it outside the box. Then when I saw the replays, I wasn't sure, but I mean, it wouldn't have made much of a difference. But still, do you think that was a red card clearly, or do you have those doubts as well?
I don't know. I mean, even the angles where they replayed it were weird. Like they had this one angle from the other side of the pitch, like that will help me see if it was an arm or not. And it's so weird. I think it hit her like around here.
Yeah,
I don't know if it bounced, like if it bounced and hit her more further down the arm, like how she had him. I'm not even. I didn't even catch that. Like it kept replaying, and I also kept rewinding it. I don't understand. Like I don't know if it hit her here and then rebounded off another part of the arm. I don't know. I mean, even when she received the red card, she was like, it just done. It was already Fresno, so it's not like it changed the line. I know it was, but I think she was also annoyed by it. But yeah, I don't know. It was weird. The zone doesn't help with these. replays a lot, I know they're not good at replaying, cold offsides, because most of the time I can't really see if the player was offside in their replays. But this handball was even worse replays. I don't know what happened here. I mean, sure, why the hell not? Let's give her a red card.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't too sure either when I saw it the first time. The replays did not help me, so I'm not sure. But yeah, I mean, it was given a red card. Like I said, it wouldn't have made much difference. We were already like 3-0 up by that. So, you know. The other thing, and this is beyond the game, this takes us beyond the discussion for this game and into something that is, very specific to our sort of progress over the years and how we have fared against opposition better than us, and especially Barcelona, because our record against them is really, really terrible. And it seems like with every performance, we are somehow getting worse despite us having a decent sample size of having faced them. So we know what threats they can offer. We know how they set up. We know what they are trying to do with the players and the strengths and weaknesses of their players by now, at least. But somebody made this point as well that, our underperformance in these games has something to do with Liga FA's level not being that high. And the point made was, since we are not tested enough the entire calendar year, uh, we when we turn up against team like Barcelona or a team like a bigger side like Chelsea, we struggle to find our footing, and we get overwhelmed by the teams that try to press us and everything. My counter to that is, I think we like I first of all, I think the whole stick about not being tested enough is not true. We are not this bad that we cannot score at least one goal against Barcelona. Like, it would take us 2 years and 5-6 games against them to even get a goal. I don't think we are that bad when teams like this week itself, Valencia scored against them. So, you know, that we are not that bad to, not even get a goal against them. Number two, I feel like Liga FA is one of the most trickiest league to call when the games between number 3 to number 16 or whatever happen. It's very difficult to call the result of that game because the teams are so evenly matched at times that it's difficult. Plus, we have seen teams challenge Barcelona much better than we have done in any of the Clásicos in the last 2 years, right? Just the recent example would be Athletic Club. Player for player, I don't think there is any comparison. I think Real Madrid is easily the second best squad in the country. There is no debate about it. And yet, our performances against the best side in the country or any other big side for that matter have been quite poor. When these group of players can't even challenge a team like Barcelona, not even push them to then I don't know what is wrong. I think for me the reason for that is purely tactical, because it's not like we are facing Barcelona like we face 20 other teams and then we haven't faced Barcelona. Barcelona is like a completely unknown entity. We can analyze them, we can prepare for these games, and we can play with this intensity against every big side. Like, and most of our games against the teams in the bottom half, or teams from the other leagues in the bottom half or whatever, we do get challenged in them as well. Like, our defense has been saved by individual brilliance a lot of times, right? And our attack as well, a lot of the times we don't have any intricate attacking pattern that we tend to follow. It's usually Linda Caicedo, Caroline Weir doing something out of this world and pulling out a rabbit out of their hat and uh, like pulling us through in games like these. And that is the problem, right? Like, it is it has nothing to do with the league quality. I think every league has that sort of disparity between the top two teams and the rest of the league. But I don't see a side like PSG struggling. I don't see a side like Manchester City struggling consistently, or a side like whoever steps up from these leagues. We don't see. We have seen Roma step up, and Roma do quite well in the Champions League, and yet last year we were beaten by Haken, we were beaten by Paris FC. So there is no excuse for that. I think that has to come down to purely tactical reasons. What are your thoughts on this, Kanita?
Listen, this team is very this league is very dynamic. As you say, like it's very difficult to predict the results of the teams, like from the third to 16th place, and it's very difficult. And listen, whenever we come up with against other Liga F teams, you can see like the different levels. Like there are some teams that defend really well, that do low blocks really well. And like the best example for that is Eibar. We lost against Eibar. They scored that one goal, and their low block was invincible. We couldn't score against them. So listen, even these like lower, like lower table teams, their defense is prominent, and we can get some very difficult you know games against them. And like also Athletic the other day, they're also a good defensive team as well, like sometimes dramatic, but they're usually very stable. And like come on, we have a very good battle for the third place. I think for like the past 2 years, like every year it's a different fight for the third place, for that last Champions League spot. Like this year I think it will be again between Real Sociedad, Athletic, and Atletico Madrid. So this league is very dynamic. And I think that we've had a lot of games throughout the years, not just this year, that have been very, very odd. Some very weak performances, as you said, like a lot of times individual performances save us, and it's been happening. I know that the first season that Weir came, everyone saying, "Oh my God, we've had such a good year, so, a relaxing year all season long on the second place." And but the fact is, even that year, like just when Weir came, she was saving us a lot, but it was a lot of underlying problems, which we were talking about the whole time. And like this tactics are not really there, and the gameplay is not really there at all. It's just individual brilliance that saves us, and it keeps on doing that. Like our individual talents keep on saving us in even the random games, like you can call some random games. And I don't know, I don't think like when you talk about like if Liga F is competitive or not, like the first two spots aren't really, because it's a big gap with the squads, you know, um, with Barcelona and Real Madrid, with respect to the rest of the league, obviously, and the budget is also very different to two very big clubs, two biggest clubs in the world. So it is expected. But listen, when it comes to actual team play,
Yeah, I mean, I feel like this is not really the case. It's not like we are facing Barcelona for the first time and it is catching us by surprise. We are blown away by their quality or whatever. We have faced them ample amount of times. We face them like 3, 4 times every season. So, by this time we should be better equipped to their challenges. We should be setting up better. And we have seen in the past teams like Chelsea change their entire approach to win against Barcelona. When they, if you remember last season, was it last season or was it the season before? I'm not sure. But Chelsea came to Barcelona away and they rocked up in a back five. Had Erin Cuthbert put in a double shift, had Leopold put in a double shift and uh, get away with a result and try to beat Barcelona. So why can't we? Why can't we change our approach, play a back five, play a back three, come up with tactical solutions to deal with their problems? And we tried maybe in this game, we tried to put, but there was no real. I don't think there were any tactical instructions in that game. It was just putting two defensive players on the flanks as well, so as to help the fullbacks. But I don't think that works. You have to. This is not women's football from 5, 6, 10 years ago, where just having talented players is going to cut it. You need to have some tactics to gain that edge, and I think we lack that very clearly, which is disappointing. But I don't think it has anything to do with the league quality not being up to the mark or us not being tested. We get tested enough like every game. I feel like Levante last season, until last season when they had Mayra Ramirez and Alba Redondo both, they were the second best side despite us having player for player better, position for position better players, right? Like we weren't even the second best team and we weren't scoring that many goals. They were dunking on us at our own home as well. So, we have been tested enough and we haven't shown any sign of tactical improvements over these years, which is the most disappointing part. So, yeah, all we can do is hope that we improve, but our underperformance is, I feel like personally, it's purely down to our lack of tactical nous in these games. So, yeah. So that brings us to the end of this pod. I think this has gotten very long because we went into discuss a lot of things, but I am sure the listeners will enjoy the discussion, and there are some really interesting points in this game that we had to mention. Next up, we we once again have a therapy pod. I hope not, but it is likely that we might, or maybe if they rotate, we might end up winning our first Clasico. Who knows? You have to be positive. That is what I've learned. And you have to keep hoping. Hope dies last.
If we score, we will spend the whole episode talking about it. So just score, and we'll right now spend an hour gushing about that one goal in 2 years.
So let's see. Let's see what happens. Hopefully, it's not another therapy pod. That is all I want. And hopefully we get to see a strong performance, because that excuse of us not facing Barcelona or Barcelona's quality blowing us away is not it. No team in this world is a secret anymore. There are intricate footages available for every single side. We have people employed who can analyze teams and break them down, and we have all those resources. We have all those players to execute those instructions as well. So hopefully that we pull up a better performance in the second leg. And despite the tie being almost done, we hope that second leg brings out a improved performance in isolation, at least, because we have an important month coming up. We will have Arsenal next, and we'll have a lot of big games as well. So we'll face Barcelona twice in this month more. We have to face them twice again. So so hopefully we can pull up good performances. So yeah, that is about it. Once again, guys, thank you for listening to us, and until next time, Ala Madrid.
Hala Madrid.